Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 17. How are you fallen from heaven, O shining star, son of the morning? You have been thrown down to the earth, you who destroyed the nations of the world. For you said to yourself, I will ascend to heaven and set my throne above God's stars. I will preside on the mountains of the gods far away in the north. I will climb to the highest heavens and be like the Most High. Instead, you will be brought down to the place of the dead, down to its lower depths. Everyone there will stare at you and ask, can this be the one who shook the earth and made the kingdoms of the world tremble? Is this the one who destroyed the world and made it into a wasteland? Is this the king who demolished the world's greatest cities and had no mercy on its prisoners? As we look at this passage in Isaiah 14, we get a chance to see the war in heaven. Satan really exalts himself and says, I will be like the Most High, and says, I will 5 times, very determined. But judgment came upon him, of course. He lost the war and he was forced down to the earth, as Revelations also denotes as well. So this period right here is called the pre-Adamic period. So Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2 are 2 different periods. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Then verse 2 says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. So we need to see that God didn't create chaos. He didn't create darkness. He didn't create all that. Okay. That came from Satan and the judgment that fell upon him and how it affected the world at that time. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I want you to see Jesus in a new light. I want you to see him as the creator, like the Father, okay? But he is also creator, redeemer. Because what we see from Genesis 1:2 on is a renovation project or a recreation. Because God's whole goal is to make the earth habitable. One is habitable for human life, for the life of the birds and the life of the sea creatures. But the other thing is to create a habitation for himself through the man and the woman that he would create later on. So please go with us and let's take a great journey into this Genesis passage. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. Then he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. And evening passed, and morning came, marking the first day. God brings his light against the current darkness through the spoken word. As he makes the world habitable, he establishes the day and the night to destroy the chaos and darkness unfit to sustain life. There is more to day 1 than it appears. Jesus removes the old before he establishes the new. This is the same thing that happens to us in regeneration. Genesis, starting with verse 6 through 8. Then God said, let there be a space between the waters to separate the waters of the heavens from the waters of the earth. And that is what happened. God made the space to separate the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. God called the space sky. And evening passed, and morning came, marking the second day. Genesis, verses 9 and 10. Then God said, let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place, so dry ground may appear. And that is what happened. God called the dry ground land, and the waters seas. and God saw that it was good. I combined the second day with the first section of the third day to show how God created this greenhouse effect to sustain life for the plants, animals, and mankind. This is not done through magic or some haphazard power, but through an orderly process spoken by the Word of God, Jesus. On the next video, God saves the best for last as he completes his redemption of the earth. So Tanya and I would love to hear from you. You may contact us at God Send Ministry International, www.gsmi.life.